Hi, and welcome to Week 5, Part 2 of English 1302. I want to talk to you about your research papers, but before that, I want to clarify a couple of things about the Exam 1. It'll open this Thursday morning, which I think is September the 25th at 8 a.m., and will close Friday at 11:55 p.m. So you'll have almost 48 hours there to take your test. There's no time limit on the test itself, but it's only 50 questions. Shouldn't take you longer than about 25 or 30 minutes. We are using HonorLock this semester. One thing I want to point out to you, if you've ever used Proctorio in the past, you have to uninstall Proctorio before this will work. And I've posted a list of student links on how to use HonorLock. I encourage you to spend a few minutes and go through those before you get ready to take the test. Now, one thing the test does require, it requires a student ID, so just hold your student ID up to the camera for just a couple of seconds. I think it'll tell you once it's read your ID. Okay, like that. Now, there's me. Yay. Then you'll also need to do a room scan. Now, if you have a laptop, that shouldn't be a problem. Just be careful and don't swing it too wildly. You don't want to toss it through a window or something. And you want to move it slowly enough so that I can see the room and see the desktop. Now, if you're using a desktop, then you're welcome to use a little mirror, just like this, to kind of show me your testing environment. Make sure your desktop is clear. There should be no books, no papers, no flashcards, nothing out in the testing area. Again, just like you were taking a test in the classroom with me standing there smiling while you're taking the test. All right, let's talk about your research paper. The R1 final draft is due Sunday, September the 28th before 11:55 p.m. It's worth 70 points, and we'll turn it in using the Turnitin app under the tab is called, I think it's called Assignments. Anyway, it's right there, and it's a little blue icon, and just click on it and follow the instructions. Something I would point out to you is that even in the best of times, this is going to take several minutes. I was showing my in-person class, how to do this, and even though I did it like 3 times right in a row, bam, 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 it always took between 2 and 4 minutes. So don't wait till the last minute, and especially if you haven't done this in a while, if this is your first time ever, be sure to give yourself plenty of time. If it were you, if it were me, if I were in your place, I would start submitting whatever you're doing, whatever you're working on. Stop it at about 11:45 and start submitting your paper, and that'll give you 10 minutes. I also recommend this. Go through the process once, about 11:45. If it doesn't go through, then stop. Email me your paper, jfly@southplains.college.edu. Send it as an attachment, DOC or DOCX file. Then you can go back and resume trying to submit. But I got to warn you, the app closes right at 11:55, and if you're not all the way through by then, it just won't go through. So if it's going to be closed, if it looks like it's going to be tight, email me your paper first, because that only takes a minute or two. Then you can go back and try to submit. I would rather you submit it, but if you don't, as long as I get it before the deadline, I can submit it for you. All right, so be sure. Now, this is what I'm grading for, and you've seen this on the samples, on the explanations and stuff, but I'm looking, first of all, to make sure that you have multiple body paragraphs, that your first one, the introduction, has a couple of just general sentences, letting the reader know what the topic is, but the last sentence has to tell me exactly what the topic is that you've chosen of the 5 and the point you want to make about it. So, for example, your thesis might be King Duncan was killed because he was too generous, or Macbeth was not a good king because he was simply too brutal, or Banquo was killed because he was more loyal to Macbeth than to Duncan. which of course would have been a really bad thing to be. Anyway, make sure your thesis clearly answers the question. Then you have a series of body paragraphs, probably 3 if you chose 3 quotes earlier, four body paragraphs if you chose 4 quotes. But don't start off with the quote. A quote does not make a good topic sentence. You want a topic sentence which is a general idea of the whole paragraph. This is straight out of English 1301. I hope you took English 1301 here, because we do emphasize just basic essay structure, thesis, topic sentence, and then the quote will probably come right after your topic sentence. And then after that, just 2 or 3 sentences that explain what the quote means, who's talking to who, the context, how it supports the point you're trying to make. Then a short sentence, a short paragraph that sums up, restates, renames, no new ideas. That's the conclusion. Okay, your paper has between 700 and 1,000 words, so that's 2 to 3 pages. You don't want to tell the story. I've read the play. I know what happens in the play. So really, all you're doing is you're explaining one of these characters to the reader and what caused his ultimate fate, or what caused the good or the bad things to happen, or one particular aspect of that character. Okay? Don't forget to proofread carefully. Don't forget each quote has to come from the play, has to have a in-text citation immediately following, which is just the author's last name, Shakespeare, then the act number, the scene, and the line number. And that's it. So Shakespeare, Act 1, Scene 2, Line 3. Just like that. Close parentheses, period. And I will post an explanation of that for you, just so you can see it physically rather than just hearing me talking about it. Okay, if you have questions, please don't send me a message on Blackboard. Drop me an email. JFly, we went ahead and issued this semester with a message kind of going to the bottom of the line, bottom of the queue, and me not seeing it. So be sure to email me directly, not through Blackboard, but just pull up your SBC email account, or your Hotmail, or your Gmail, or your AOL account, and drop me an email. Let me know how I can help. Good luck.